Good afternoon, it's Christian White, the One Day at a Time Dad, continuing on with my series Listening to Learn, where I go around interviewing random people just to learn about their backstories to show that all of us typically come and start from the same place, and then specific things happen that lead us to make decisions that sometimes we're proud of, sometimes we're not, but either way, it's to show that we share many of the same qualities and that we need to focus on those qualities. So today I am honored to be with Riq Havoc. A pleasure. So I'm gonna ask you the first question that I ask everybody. What are your earliest childhood memories?
Earliest childhood memories, I have to say, best childhood memories, earliest, playing sports, youth sports. That was probably some of like my best memories for the Boston Raiders. And that's how, I met a lot of people, made up a lot of associations, learned a lot about life through playing youth sports. So that's pretty much it.
And what age would this be?
From age 6 or 7 all the way to like 14. Doing that all the way, so that kind of gave me like a little advantage over different people as far as like my exposure, seeing different things, traveling, being a part of that. So those are some of my best memories, playing with teammates, traveling, winning, competing, being the best of the best. So those are some of my better memories.
Were you good?
Yeah, we were good. The team I was on, we only lost 6 games in 7 years.
Oh. And how did you perform personally?
I was a contributor, key factor. I wasn't saying I was Barry Sanders, but I held my position. I did what I was supposed to do. I did my thing on the line and on defense, and whatever I was asked to do, just being a team player to make it go. So that's why I understand in life that you gotta have everybody who's willing to do their job. So those bases in life and learning from there, just being a part of a team and doing what it takes for the greater good. I attribute that to football, teaching me about life and stuff.
So the principles in football, were these same principles reflected in your household?
For the most part, single family household, my mother and my sister in the house.
Are we assuming your sister's older?
No, she's 16 months younger than I am.
Okay.
She's 16 months younger than I am. So, but just the principles similar, hard working, dedication, never giving up, sticking to the task at hand. My mother was big on that, sticking to the task at hand. Just, never quitting, never giving up, never surrendering. I got a song out now on my own. And, the chorus is 10 toes down, I won't fold. I learned that from football because the game's never over. Life is never over. So, just apply it to that. You never give up. You don't know when you never have an opportunity to give in.
So tell me about your mom. What kind of woman was she?
Strong. Everything that she did, the sacrifices that she made, I'm still forever grateful. Raising me and my sister, pretty much like by herself with the help of my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, or whoever. But the sacrifices that she made, everything that she gave up, her career, I don't think, most could do it. Everybody says they want a woman like their mother or, they revere them. But somebody like my mother, she second to none. I don't think there's anybody built like her to withstand what she's withstood. To do it with a smile, to constantly get up every day, to push, to be better, to push us to be better despite where we come from. It doesn't get no realer than that.
So where'd you grow up?
Roxbury, Dorchester area, Boston my whole life for the most part.
And how old are you?
29.
How old was your mom when she had you?
19, 20. Okay. So still fairly young or whatever. But again, like the sacrifices that she made, to raise me and my sister and do the best that she could, it didn't work out between her and my father for domestic issues and stuff like that. So
now, was your father in the home for the most part, and then they split up? How did that work? What was the presence like with your father?
It didn't work for the most part because of like the domestic violence and shit. So that really didn't work. It didn't last long as far as that. We broke out from there, moved in with my grandparents for a little bit, and then she got her own spot, and then it was us hustling, her just trying to make a way for all of us. I still remember, She bought us our bunk beds for us to sleep on, for us to have something. And she got a little pull-out couch for the living room, so she could have something to sleep on. She didn't get her full bedroom set yet, but she had enough. She just made sure that we had everything that we needed first. And she was hustling, still going to school at RCC, still working, doing what she had to do, making the little sacrifices. So shit, I still remember Saturdays was the best shit to me, because I didn't know that she was struggling all week. You know, as kids, you don't realize you're as poor as you are. And she save up her little money or whatever and take us downtown. Wendy's was the big shit. Woolworths. I don't want to date myself, but yeah, you know, stuff like, you know, going to get a cheeseburger from Woolworths.
And he's 10 years younger than me, so.
So, you know, just stuff like that, you know, was like real big to see her make those sacrifices again with not much options.
So let me ask, the way I'm listening to you talk, and it seems to me that had you been in the street at all?
As I got older, because most of my stuff, it was as she, you know, was working. When she got her nursing degree or whatever, she started working like nights and stuff. So then, you know, it's just me and my sister in the house. We had this lady who was like watching us or whatever, but getting in trouble, just, you know, nobody's really there. Nobody's, you know, gonna stop you if you're out there by yourself.
And this is because your mom needed to do what she needed to do.
She had to work because, again, like, you know, my dad, he was around, but he picked and chose when he wanted to deal with us. So it is what it is. He had his court order days, and if it wasn't his court order days, he wasn't fucking with us. So she had to make it happen. If that means she got to work a 12-hour shift, if she's working 4 12-hour shifts in a week, she got to make it happen.
But inevitably, it leaves you to roam.
It leaves me to roam, and it leaves me to be out there to figure out shit for myself. So then it's like,
so
okay.
what did you figure out for yourself? How did you manifest whatever path you were choosing? What were you like in the street?
My thing was, it was all about aggression. It was all about just getting what I want. I was selfish. That was my thing. Like, you know, everybody assumes, oh, because your mother, she's a nurse, she works, she's this. That's fine, but I want my own shit. Like, I don't want to ever be handed nothing. I don't ever want to have to ask nobody for anything or explain anything to anybody. So most of my crimes, most of my issues was just off of like having to like just do it for myself. Like, I tell people all the time, I was shown the right way. I had, you know, opportunities, like they say, would be considered good, but I want to walk my own path. I want to be my own man. Like, it could have been that, but now I want to do that because I have my own mind. And sometimes, you know, people, we struggle with getting in our own way, being our own self-destruction for that. And like I said, I like played a part in that for self, allowing myself to get caught up in bullshit and associations that I might not have had to get caught into, but just being such a loyal friend. And
well, I mean, so you have like the football pass, so you already have the camaraderie in that sense. Did that interpret into being in the gang world? Like, were you ever involved in that sense, or were you like an independent kind of crime?
It went both ways, and then, you know, you kind of get like I said, the associations that do you in, like, because again, from football and youth sports, so then, you know, you can hang out, you can go to Chez Vu's with certain friends, or you go to hang out in the neighborhoods with certain people, and then, you know, you might go to a party, you might go to an event, and a fight might happen, something might break out, and they see you with them group of people. So now, when the fight broke out, you're down with them, or you're always seen hanging out over there, whatever. So people try to make associations, but as far as like using the football stuff with it, it was like another form of it, like more brothers, more like family, just being involved with stuff like that.
So the term gang is not even applicable in the way it's promoted on us.
Nah, it's more like a brotherhood, more like a street fraternity. Just, again, people you've come up with.
I say that because not just on the panel, but in almost every brother that grew up in the street life that I asked that question to, they say the exact same thing, that it was never a gang as it's understood from the police perspective.
No,
but a situation where, why wouldn't I be loyal to the dudes that feed me, clothe me, respect me, show me love?
You look out, again, when we was teenagers and stuff like that, before I started, like, you know, doing stuff to get my little money, you know, we got homeboys who was selling their little weed or doing whatever and having money, but they were still looking out for everybody. If we all went downtown to eat, you know, everybody made sure we ate. Everybody made sure we was good. So if this person's getting into a fight, if that person, you know, nah, you ain't going out like that on my dog. He held it down. So now, you know, it's the loyalty thing, and that's what's, you know, it'll get you labeled as such because everybody's loyal to each other to a fault. So if they want to say that's like a gang, or everybody's, the camaraderie for everybody sticking for each other, then
Now, did you find yourself being labeled?
yeah, I've been labeled.
And I mean, not just by the police, but in terms of the streets itself.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but I always got a pass in a sense because I was an athlete as well. So it was like you can kind of go like both ways. Like some take it serious, and then some won't until like they might see you like, okay, he was really at the fight. He was, he was there when it was going down or whatever. You still get passes because you play sports and you're good, but not everybody want to hear that shit. So it's,
So how do you navigate when? Because I know what you mean. So it's like, how do you navigate when you come up against one group of dudes and basically they're like, well, we know him, he may have been involved in a fight, but we know him, we know that he's not gang involved to the degree that when we turn our back he's going to be shooting at us.
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate those people versus the people that are like, well, fuck that, we saw you there, so we know that you're with them?
It's literally situational. You don't know who's gonna get off the way they want to get off. Some people be with it, some people don't want to hear it, but it just comes from what you putting out there, the energy you're giving off, and then sometimes your mouthpiece. You could talk yourself out of a situation. Then sometimes you got to get to it because don't nobody want no lip service. It's where you from, and if you ain't saying the right thing, and if they feel like you could be a threat, like you said, to come back and start shooting, they got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. And there's been situations where we would have fought, had to get down, and all of that because of somebody not believing or feeling still some type of way that I was there present while their homeboy got beat up or whatever, and they still want the face. So, all right, we'll take a head up. I'm not from there, but that's still my boy, and if you feel some type of way, we can line it up. So that's always been my attitude, like not running from anything as far as that. Like, I'll let you know what it is. Like, no, I'm not from there. I'm not pressing that. But if you want to take it there, we can take it there. So
how doesn't it reach the level of gun violence, though? How do you maintain it? Because it's like, I think of my own background, and if I'm in the exact same situation you're talking about, I'm not looking to fist fight at all. I'm looking to, I probably have something on me right then.
There's been situations where gunfires happen. I've been there when a friend's been shot, and it had nothing to do with me. And it's like, what can you do? Like, again, it's gonna come down to don't nobody want to hear none of that. Sometimes it is what it is. So you just take it for what it is. And then again, you put yourself in bad situations, and it'll have you take a step back. Like, do I need to be in that? But again, that loyalty, that constant driving, that was your boy, that's your friend. You gotta do that. That's what holds people back. And
so why didn't you succumb to the gang violence?
Honestly, I'm lucky.
That's I think a lot of us are.
Honestly, I'm lucky.
I think a lot of us are.
There's a couple times I've mentioned it in music where I could have got my head, I could have got my head blown off or could have gotten picked off, and luckily, I leaned too far back that way or too up that way, or you just get the feeling like at the party or whatever, like, nah, niggas about to start shooting, like, we're gonna either go outside, we're gonna go this way, we're gonna go out the back door instead of going out the front door like everybody else. And sure enough, everybody who went through the front door was a fight and somebody, bad situations like that. But still, I think sports, and at the most critical point in my life, going away to college saved my life too, because they was trying to send me away for armed robbery for 3 years. So it was just, having the opportunity to go to school to play football saved my life. Going to Hampton University saved my life.
So sports for you was always in the mix somehow. Mm-hmm. Like, it was never not there.
Yeah, it was always there because, again, there was a girl who I was dating who passed away. At one point, she was telling me, a friend of mine had gotten killed. And she told me, she was like, you got to make a decision. Like, they're going to kill you next. So the choice is yours. Like, you could either stay in the street and do that, but you can't associate with me. Or, you can focus on football for your last year, try to get straight, try to get right, and see where the chips fall they may. So I took her advice, and went and stayed down from there. Every weekend was kicking with her and her family, trying to stay out the way. I took myself out of that situation to try to at least give myself a chance to say that, okay, you tried to make an effort, you tried to do something because you have an opportunity here playing sports. Take that shit and run with it. And I still, I told you I'm forever grateful to Keon Jackson because he helped keep me in school or whatever and helped guide me to Hampton University where, had the opportunity to get a scholarship and do what I was supposed to. It just, for unfortunate reasons after that, it didn't work. with other shit, but still having the opportunity to go away to save my life, to keep me away from the bullshit, because at that time it was real crazy.
How important was your mom's teachings?
Critical, because I still hear her voice, certain things she tells me all the time in my head about going, respect the people.
And I can hear her voice by what you're talking about, because I'm comparing right now, or contrasting your life and my life, and the teachings that you got. I got those, but in very different, distorted forms. And I sort of follow those teachings to the T. And I can see, even with everything you had going on, you can see how you stuck to the teachings that she gave. Because I think of so many critical points where you could have kind of just did anything, and it didn't happen. And I just, that's a great. It sounds like your support system was really, really good in that sense. It was really, really good. Let me ask though, how do you feel about mental health, specifically in the Black community? First of all, do you believe that it's real? And how do you see it play out?
It's realer than life. Mental health. I struggle with mental health myself, as far as coping with certain things, anxiety, PTSD, even from, my inner dealings out here in the street, the stuff that leaves me paranoid.
And is this to say you're diagnosed?
With anxiety, yeah.
Okay. So let me ask, and I want you to continue on with your thought process, but even before that, did it strike you that there was some very odd things that go on around you?
It became normalized. It became normalized to the point where you've been seeing it since a young age. You've seen people getting shot. You've seen police rage. You've seen domestic violence. You've seen stuff like that. So, it just becomes a factor. You become a product of your environment. I actually got that as a tattoo right here at the city skyline. Product of my environment. Because again, for a while, that's all I thought I was. Like, this is all I got. This is all they're giving me. It is what it is. Like, I just want to get the most I can get out of this before my time expired. So for a while, I didn't have no faith in myself, no real belief. But again, having the opportunity to do certain things and certain teachings.
And just really quickly, when you say faith and belief in yourself, is that what I would understand as value?
Yeah, the value in myself. For a while, I didn't see real value in myself. Because again, losing friends from an early age, like 14, 15, losing friends.
And how does that compare to the good support system and the teachings of your mom versus what you were seeing in your reality? Because in my mind, I'm thinking that the value comes from your mom. But how do you lose the value when you see the environment?
It gets depressing after a while. Somebody's telling you that, it doesn't seem believable. They're telling you that, stick with it, keep going, keep moving, keep fighting. But then when you see people out there trying to struggle and strive and make it, and being gunned down and taken out, and people you've grown up with playing Little League football and basketball and summer camp getting killed and stuff like that. It's like, how can you expect me not to fight the gravity of what was going on outside? Like, eventually, that pain turns into hurt, and that hurt turns into anger, and, you want revenge after a while. I can't keep crying, not doing nothing, and people, getting over it and feeling like they up on us or whatever. And I'm like, nah. After a while, you can't fight the gravity no more of your surroundings or your environment. So that's what pulls people in. Like, you can hear all the teachings or whatever, but at the end of the day, I still got to go outside. So yeah, I keep the teachings and what's going on. It's in the back of my head, but I still got to go outside and live life. So if it's cracking like that outside, then you got to be with it. Your hands got to work. You got to, got to keep protection at all times. There was a point where I kept protection on me at all times. Everybody who knew me, I kept a backpack at all times. It wasn't just because, I had little things in my backpack. I had a thing in my backpack just to be safe. Getting to school early, stuff like that. A homeboy of mine, we used to get to school early because, we'd sneak in again because I had the football pass, so I wouldn't get searched. I wouldn't, everybody a good player. Ain't nobody paying attention to me. Whole time I gotta keep a thing with me just in case.
You know what? So let me ask then, specifically for that, because I think that that's a good point. Is that, I mean, obviously on some levels, you're a leader in terms of your thinking and stuff. So with that said, I love the fact that you understood that part of survival meant using the skills that you learned from every walk of life.
You have to.
I think that just hit me when you said that.
You got to be able to apply that shit, because if you can't, see things that connect and bring them together, then you're hurting yourself, yet not adding anything to it. If I could find a way to adapt in this environment, then adapt in that environment, and adapt in that. It's like when I was going to school in Lexington. I used to hate that shit. I hated.
Why would you be going to school in Lexington if you live in Roxbury?
Well, because I'm in the I was in the MECO program.
Okay.
Like kind of like forced integration. So,
Okay.
That's realistic. Like, it was like forced integration. Like, I hated that shit. It was like, to be able to survive in an atmosphere where they treat you like a zoo animal almost. Like, when we get to school, we're segregated and casted off. We can only be in this one area, before everybody else gets there. They label you anytime they introduce you at anything.
What do you mean by that?
They won't say Christian white student. They'll say MECO student, Christian white. To let everybody know, like, yeah, you're here, but you're here for a reason. Like, this ain't because we really want you to be here.
Yeah.
You're here because we allow you to be here. So that was my thing, and I always fought against that. But I realized, like Malcolm X said, I got to take what they're giving me, take it back to my people, and apply it there. Because dealing with white people wasn't a normality where I come from. They weren't looking to come to Dorchester, not looking to come to Roxbury. They don't want to experience what we experience. But if I'm able to take how they function in their world and bring it back, and then I'm still able to apply it, so when I deal with them as I get older, I know why they think the way they think. I know the way they act because they've been conditioned to see that. I've seen that from 1st grade to 9th grade.
Now, did you stay your whole high school term in Lexington?
I went 1st, 2nd to 9th grade, and then at 10th grade, I went to Madison Park.
So why? And Madison Park is right in Roxbury. How'd you end up back there?
Because I wanted to be there. I fought so hard to get out of Lexington, acting up, fighting, getting suspended, doing whatever it took.
But why?
To get up out of there. Because again, like I said, I hated it. I hated being treated like a zoo animal. I hated only being accepted for the fact that I was only good at sports. I had a teacher who changed my grade because I quit the lacrosse team. I made the varsity lacrosse team, and he had got upset with me because I wouldn't apologize for a piece of work that I did. So he told me, I was going to affect my playing time on the lacrosse team. So I told him, F that. I don't want to play then.
But what do you mean by change your grade?
He literally changed my grade. Like,
to make it worse or better?
To make it worse. He changed my grade initially to make me eligible.
Okay.
And then he changed it back. He changed the previous grade and my future grade to what he wanted to be. So, to try to like stain me, to be like, well, since you don't want to do this for me, I'm going to do this to you.
Interesting.
That's the only way I saw that going to school. Like, they only see you as, what you could do for what you could do for the town, what notoriety you could bring. So, I was kind of like standoffish with that. I was like real, like, I'm not with it. And they get certain ones to fall in line with it and do what they want and, go with the program and let them be the token in their face. And they tried to have me there like that because it was for the lacrosse team, but I just wasn't with it. I just wasn't with the whole going with the flow to get by. If I can't be comfortable within my skin, I really don't want nothing to do with it.
And you ended up graduating from Madison Park?
Yes, I did. National Honor Society. I left Madison Park better than I came in the door. Everybody laughs at that, but I learned more going to Madison Park than I did going to Lexington.
I would assume that Lexington would have much more money and
that's the only difference. It's just more money. It's more funding. Like, could you imagine what Boston Public would be like if they had money for arts and, after school programming and before school sports and stuff like that? Give kids a safe space, allowing kids to fully believe in their dreams and not only be forced into certain lifestyles.
So let me ask, and I'll end it with this question. What does music mean for you?
Music is everything. Music is everything for me. It's how I'm able to, convey what I'm going through.
When did you become involved with doing your own music?
I've always loved music. Like, just going back to my mother, Friday nights, it was my job to make the little mixtapes or whatever. So I got to catch it before the commercial cut off. But, that's real. When you dubbing the tape, you got to press it and stop it and catch it. And
yes.
Put it back. You remember that? So that was like,
I do remember.
So that was my job. So I've always been like into music and then just like taking raps and like flipping them to like fit myself. But as far as like, full-time doing it, I want to say about like 2012 or whatever, 2013. And, I wasn't doing the best of things. I was, hanging around, waiting on certain opportunities. and just rapping to kill time or whatever. And the homies was like, "You pretty good. Like, you know, if you put that together, you could do it like that." So I just use it for a place to speak from. Like Ice Cube used to say, like a ghetto reporter. I just talk about what's going on outside and talk about my reality. That's it. And then some might not like it. Some, you know, may see it as over sensationalized, but that's what's really going on out here. And
Absolutely.
if you don't want to accept reality for what it is, then you're part of the problem. Like there really is. And one of the songs I just said, we gang bang because ain't no after school. That where you from shit, dog, we had to learn the rules. Like that's when most kids are getting into trouble. Like when,
you know what? It's funny because one of the dudes that was on the panel, he said this. He said, look, the older dudes would help me with homework, would teach me go to school. But after school, we had to hang out in the projects. So they had to teach me that part too.
mm-hmm.
And that's what came with it. But look, thank you.
Always.
Thank you.
Always.